Hi Yogi, and welcome to another Slow Flow with me, Oceana. I'm welcoming you here today from my mother's garden in the Canary Islands. And this is where we'll begin to embark on a 5-week journey to explore the 5 elements theory of traditional Chinese medicine through Yang to Yin yoga sequences. And we'll begin that exploration today with the wood element, which relates to the liver and gallbladder meridians that we've explored in a previous flow. So of course I'll link that here for you on screen in case you want to dive a little bit deeper. The wood element is most strongly related to the spring season, and like the spring winds that spread the seeds from the blossoming flowers so that more growth can occur, the wood element represents all that is moving, developing, and outwardly expanding. The energy of wood propels ideas forward and brings them into being with determination and drive. When the wood element is in balance, that energy is like a tree, firmly rooted in the earth, and at the same time flexible, with branches that carve their paths towards sunny skies to sprout new leaves. So I hope you enjoy today's practice. You won't need any particular props other than the things you know you like to use on a regular basis. And when you're ready, you can join me in a comfortable seat on your yoga mat. Now you might choose to stay in the comfortable seated position that you've chosen for yourself, taking a few moments just to gather the breath and allow your attention to settle on your yoga mat. Or you could come into a kneeling position, tucking under all 10 toes and allowing your sitting bones to rest on the heels of your feet, if that's available to you already. From here, we'll begin with a little breathing exercise, planting one hand on top of the chest and allowing the other hand to rest on the belly. As you breathe in, think about expanding the breath into both hands equally, so the front of the body lengthens. And as you exhale, soften the front of the body so the hands move closer towards one another. And as you continue to move through this breath, find that expansion and lightness of the inhale that lifts you up, and the release of the exhalation which softens you in. And you can use the hands here to encourage the body. So as you inhale, there's almost a sense of the hands pressing away from each other to create more space and length. And as you breathe out, there's a sense that the two hands are pressing the body inwards, particularly the top hand encouraging the chest to drop down. And as you continue to ease into the body here, start to feel into the back body, that undulation of the spine that responds to the movement of the breath. The inhale giving you that lightness and lift through the upper back, a little bit of an arch. And the exhalation rounding you in, coiling back towards the center. On your next exhale, allow the hands to rest down by the sides of the hips. On an inhale, sweep the arms up and over the head, reaching. And as you exhale, bending the elbows, drawing the shoulder blades together into cactus arms, let the hands soften back down. Inhale to lengthen through the sides of the waist as you reach up. And exhale, drawing back down through the arms, softening at the elbows. Last time here, move with the breath as you reach up, expand and gather in, exhaling to soften back down. On this next inhale, lift the arms. We'll take this into a little twist. Left hand goes forward, right hand reaches back, and you might catch one of your thighs or knees with the left hand, possibly using the right hand to reach all the way around towards the back of the body, to the opposite hip, As you breathe in, find a little bit more length through the torso and exhale to twist. Slowly here, soften the twist. And with your next inhale, reach the arms back up, take it to the second side. So let your right arm come forward, left hand behind you, making it as similar as you can to the first side. And at the beginning of our practice, not going too deep into these twists, but find a little bit of length through the spine. Take a deep inhale. On the exhale, maybe there's a little bit more space to twist into. Gradually unwind, releasing the twist as you inhale. One last time here, sweep the arms up and over the head and then cactus the elbows, draw the shoulder blades in. Bring the hands to the floor underneath your shoulders and walk the knees under the hips into a tabletop. Moving through a few rounds of cat-cow here. Start by rounding the spine up towards the sky. Tuck the toes under, lift through the tailbone, arch the back of the body. Rounding as you exhale, maybe looking towards the belly button. And as you inhale, lifting through the tailbone, arching the spine, open the chest and look ahead. Find a few more rounds here, really take that time to check in with the spine. Notice every single vertebra. And again, match that movement of your own breath to the movement of the spine, creating this undulating connection of breath and body. Come back into your tabletop and from here reach the left leg back, tucking under the toes. Find a few movements forwards and back, pulsing through the body, easing into the back of that left leg, softening into the joints of the wrists, elbows, shoulders, the foot, maybe reaching your right hand forward in the opposite direction to create a little bit of diagonal length through the body. Maybe dropping the chest towards the floor to find a little bit of a deeper stretch. As you come up, find a balancing tabletop. So let that left leg float back, let the right fingertips reach forward. Exhale, really softly coil the elbow and knee of the lifted leg in, and then reach both of them behind you. See if you can catch the foot or hover it there. If you catch the foot, just gently press the foot away from you. Find half bow for a brief breath. On the exhale, let that knee come back down to the floor. Take a moment in tabletop. Change to the opposite side, reaching right leg back. And again, start with those gentle pulses, moving forwards and back, easing in. Eventually, when you're ready, float your left hand forward and find that diagonal length. Maybe again, allow the center of your chest to draw towards the ground, pausing here. And then move forward to find your balancing tabletop, reaching the foot back, floating the hand forward. As you exhale, really softly draw the elbow and knee together. Reach the foot and hand behind you, maybe catch the foot, and very gently press it away. Open the chest and the front of the leg, and eventually release both back to the earth. Tuck under the toes, draw the knees away from the floor and lift your sitting bones up and back to find your first downward facing dog. Catch the breath here, soften the knees, maybe have a little move through the legs. Eventually, step the big toes together, reach your left leg up and back. Three-legged dog. As you exhale, bring that knee forward into the chest. For a tiger's curl, hover here. And then step or shimmy the foot all the way through between the hands. Bring your back knee down. Inhale to float the arms out and over the head to find Anjaneyasana, low lunge position. Cactus the arms here as you exhale. And inhale, again, lengthen up through the whole body. Exhaling, soften the hips, soften the elbows, draw the shoulder blades in. Breathe in to lengthen and exhale to soften towards the earth. Float the hands down with your next exhale. Step your front knee to the back. Tuck the elbows in and let the chest and chin draw down to the floor into Ashtanga Namaskara. Our knees, chest, chin. Slide the hips forward and down. As you inhale, open the front of the chest and roll the shoulders back into baby cobra position. And with the hands underneath the shoulders here, as you exhale, soften back down to the earth. Tuck under the toes and via your knees make your way back into a child's pose, sitting bones to the heels. Finding downward dog when you're ready, exhale. Slowly step the big toes together. Inhale to lift your right leg up and back. Point through the toes for three-legged dog. Exhale to bring that knee in towards the chest in slow motion. Tiger's curl, hugging in. Step the foot through. Let the back knee land lightly to the mat. And inhale, float the arms out and over the head to find that low lunge on the second side. Again, exhale to cactus those arms. Lift through the chest but sink through the hips. Inhale, reaching everything upwards. Exhale, cactus the arms and draw forward and down. The last one here, moving with the breath as you reach up and drawing down as you exhale. Float the hands down to frame your front foot. Step that front knee back in line with the other leg. Tuck the elbows in. Let the chest, maybe the chin, come to the floor. And eventually slide the hips forward and down to come through into your cobra pose. Let the chest lift and the shoulders roll back. Inhale here. Find the breath. Contract the muscles in the back body. And eventually exhale to come all the way back down. Make your way back into child's pose. Exhale here. Let the inhale follow. And with your next exhalation, make your way back into downward dog. Preparing for the second side, in your downward dog, step the big toes together. Reach your left leg up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring that left knee to the chest, tiger's curl as you exhale. Step or shimmy the foot through. Bring the back knee down as you reach the arms up. Low lunge, inhale. Take your right arm forward, left arm back as you exhale into an archer's twist with the palms facing up. Maybe looking towards your back hand. Gently as you exhale, let your right hand come to the floor. Left arm lifts. You kickstand your bottom foot behind you and reach the left leg back into a supported side plank with the left arm over the head. Option 1, walk your left foot further back to deepen. Maybe lifting that top foot and catching it with your top hand for another half bow variation. And if you're coming here and the balance is easy, then think about pressing that foot further behind you to open the front of the quad, your hip, into the ribs and front of your shoulder. Soften the grip. Step that left leg forward again, this time floating the back knee and lifting the arms as you inhale into high lunge. As you exhale, right hand comes to the right hip, and you might reach left arm over the head, maybe walking your bottom hand further back on the back leg as you straighten the front leg briefly. Inhale, rebend the front knee, lift both arms. Lean forward to step your back foot in and spin the whole back heel to the ground as you reach the arms behind you. Maybe just pushing fists against each other or reaching for opposite elbows. Straighten the front leg once more as you inhale and exhale to come forward into pyramid pose. The spine stays long. Front and back body are the same length, and you keep reaching the crown of the head towards your front big toe, creating space through the upper body and working with that engagement in the core body. Bend your front knee as you inhale. This time lift the arms and come into warrior one. Swim the hands down as you exhale, frame the front foot. Swing that front leg up and back into three-legged dog, maybe bending the top knee for split dog and allowing that foot to dangle behind you. You could stay or drop the top foot behind you onto the floor, landing on the ball of that foot and spinning on the outer edge of the right leg. Let the left arm come over the head as you spin the chest and hips up into Karasana, wild thing. Catching the breath here. And then gently, gently prepare yourself to reverse into a high plank. From there, pushing your way back into downward facing dog. Prepare for the second side here by stepping the big toes together, lifting the right leg up and back into three-legged dog. Exhale, hug the right knee in, find your tiger's curl, hugging the knee to the chest and stepping the foot through. Back knee comes down as you inhale, low lunge, lift the arm. Reach your left arm forward, right arm back into that archer's twist. Again, maybe looking back if the balance is easy. Catch the breath. And from here, let your front hand travel all the way down to the floor underneath its own shoulder. Let your right arm reach up towards the ceiling and then kickstand your bottom foot behind you, floating right leg back into that supported side plank. Top arm reaches forward. Option 1, step your top foot further back, deepen that opening through the front body. Maybe float the top foot and reach your top hand behind you to catch it. If that's happened, find that half bow and push the foot away. Expand a little bit more deeply into that back bend. Gently release the foot as you step it forward again. Tuck under the back toes and lift the back knee as you inhale. Find your high lunge position. From here, left hand floats to the left hip. Right hand reaches back and overhead to find this sort of reversed high lunge variation. So you might allow the bottom hand to travel further back on the bottom leg as you push into your front big toe. Not here for long, so rebend your front knee as you lift both hands back towards the sky. Briefly lean your torso forward to step the back foot in and spin the heel to the ground. Reach your hands behind you, either pushing two fists against each other or grabbing opposite elbows with maybe the opposite, more unusual elbow on top this time. As you exhale, lean forward from the hips, reaching crown of the head away and keeping the torso long as you allow yourself to reach the top of your head towards the front edge of your mat. In this pyramid, find the breath. Soften as you exhale. Rebend your front knee as you inhale, reach the arms up for warrior one. And exhale, swim the hands down, framing the front foot. Lift your right leg up and back into three-legged dog, bending the knee this time. Dangle the foot behind you in split dog. Either stay here or bend your bottom knee so that you can land the ball of your right foot behind you. Come onto the outer edge of the left leg as you spin the hips and chest towards the ceiling. Right arm comes over the head into Karasana, wild thing. Gently, gently, when you're ready, prepare to make your way out by bending both knees generously, planting right hand underneath its shoulder and finding plank position. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Catch the breath. Let your heart rate settle. And from our downward dog, we'll come into a wide-legged child's pose, so the knees are separated, big toes touch. And we'll add a little twist here. So left arm will thread underneath the right. You can rest on top of the left side of the head or ear. And gradually as you exhale, you may reach the left arm a little bit further forward, and at the same time the right hand could walk further behind you. So you're finding this rotation through the upper back. The chest starts to lift a little bit more towards the ceiling. You're really rotating through that right side of the rib cage. And then finding the breath. And allowing your body to settle into a little bit of stillness, a little bit of softness. And at the same time, maybe that top hand, millimeter by millimeter, is crawling back behind you. Making your way back out, gently push into the top hand. Take it straight to the other side. So left arm comes forward, right arm threads through. Finding your version on the second side as you reach the bottom hand further forward, and that top hand moves further behind you. These opposite forces through the torso, twisting you a little bit deeper. And then allowing the breath to find both rib cages equally, so that lateral breath moving the ribs apart as you take a deep inhale and a deep exhale to soften. Allowing the body to settle into that final moment of stillness here. And then unwinding, pushing into the top hand. We'll move through a couple of wide-legged camel poses, taking it nice and easy. The hands come behind us. Coming onto fingertips, we'll lift through the hips, gently peeling the spine forward and away. Not going all the way there yet. We release the hips back down as we exhale. On the inhale, finding that push through the glutes, that lift through the chest. And on the exhale, coming back down once more. This time optional to come into a full camel. So as you lift the hips and chest, see if the hands could float to the heels of the feet. And if that's happened and there's a little pillow for the head, you can let the head come back and rest on the shoulders. To reverse out, draw the chin towards your chest first. Then gently release the hands and lower the hips at the same time. We'll make our way into hero pose here. So if you need to, support yourself a little bit taller than I am. So you might like to slide a blanket, pillow, or even some books underneath your hips so that you can let the hips be supported between your feet. And all 10 toes will point directly back. There is, of course, the option to stay sitting upright, especially if there's already very strong sensations in the fronts of your shin bones, feet, or thighs. But if you would like to go a little bit further, you can walk the hands back. And you'll see me here taking the more advanced option where you can walk all the way onto the back of the body. And you could even let the arms come over your head, holding onto the elbows. Finding this deep opening through the fronts of your thighs, the fronts of your hips, all the way into the abdominal muscles, allowing this deep lengthening of the intercostal muscles which run through the rib cage, all the way into the underarms. And as you continue to breathe here, really think about expanding again the front of the body as you breathe in, deepening the pose. And as you exhale, allowing the body to soften inwards. So you can almost feel the curve in the lower back becoming a little bit smaller as you exhale. And even though in this back bend, our mind might be more present in the front of the body, we're trying to still notice and examine our connection to the floor. Now, if you're all the way back on the shoulders, you'll need a little bit longer to come back up. But eventually join me here. Gently swing the legs out from underneath you and come back to a comfortable seated position. Ideally, if you've got the shins or legs crossed, cross them the way that feels a little bit less familiar. then settle back into your breath. If you can, keep the eyes closed. Place one hand again on top of the chest, the other hand on the belly. Come back to that same breathing exercise that we did at the beginning so that we can check back in with the breath here at the end. As you inhale, let the front and back body expand as the lungs fill with air. And as you exhale, soften and coil in, releasing the breath out. And as the body moves through these undulating waves of the breath, allow your mind to wander around the ribs and the upper body, noticing how the breath feels here at the end. So we've done a lot of front body and back body opening, and we might find that that has affected how we relate to our breath and maybe where we're able to feel the sort of ripples of our breathing. Maybe parts of our rib cage at the very top or very back have become a little bit more illuminated. And maybe everything feels exactly the same as it did at the beginning, but we're not here to really pass judgment on what our practice has done for us, rather just here to take stock and notice, to be present, to examine and be curious. Making these your last few moments, allow the breath to become a little bit softer again. Easing out. And eventually bringing the palms of the hands to touch, let the forehead bow towards the fingertips. In this last moment, give yourself a little bit of gratitude for showing up for yourself, for your practice. And maybe plant a sankalpa, a good intention for yourself or for somebody else in your life. And of course I want to extend my deep gratitude to all of you for making it this far into the video and allowing me to be a part of your yoga journey and practice today. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Support the channel by subscribing or leaving a little comment down below to let me know if you have any questions, suggestions or feedback. Maybe just tell me how your practice went today. I always really enjoy hearing from all of you. And finally, if you have any yogi friends who might like to join this wonderful community, then do spread the good word, and I hope to see you back on your yoga mat very, very soon. Thank you so much, Yogi. Goodbye.